We're going to continue now with the music theory. This will be music theory number 11, and it will go in the music folder. Now, we were talking about standards, which we've done already for rhythm notes and how many beats per measure and the notes that get them. Now, most music that musicians read are turned into sound with only two clefs. They are used to assign one particular line or space note name. Then all the other lines and spaces are used this as a standard or reference. Now remember how important standards were before. So this is another example of a standard which we're using. Now, this is a word clef. We'll see what that is in a minute. The two clefs are called G clef, and F clef. Remember that lines and spaces are named A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The clefs help us to decide where A, for example, begins and on a line or a space, but the clefs do not use A as a standard. Instead, they use G and F. Now, it's not a letter G, and it's not a letter if it's a symbol again. So let us see what these clefs look like. These are again something that takes place on the lines or the staff just as the standard of time did. For example, if we look here, you notice here, there's the 4/4 time that we used, but look what's before the 4/4 time. This funny looking thing like that. Now that comes before all the lines and spaces for rhythm. Okay, here we have time signature, but before it is a clef, which you see right here, a clef. Now, this is called a G clef. You see that clef right there? G clef. And what is important about this is that it has a little wraparound, which you see right here, that wraparound. That is a G clef. Now, what's important about it is that that wraps around the note that is called G. So if you see that right here, what that little wraparound does, you see right there? That wraparound right on that second line up, that means that note is G. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now you know where G is. So that's a standard for this top group of lines right here. Now, don't forget, we have two groups of lines. No, we'll only do the top group right now. So that G is the standard. Remember that we go from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So here are the other lines and spaces based on the G line. Now look, this is the same clef, the same place where G is, but now if I show you this, you will see where all the other letters are on lines and the spaces. See the G there? There's the G. Now you see all the letter names and where they are, because now you know where the G is. E, F, there's G, and there's A, B, C, D, E, F as they go up. So you see what that does? That clef then becomes the standard by which all the other lines and spaces are named for A, B, C, D, E, F, G note names. That's what the G clef is for. Now, when we continue this, we will have to go back a little bit, but before we leave, just remind you that we have a whole staff here made of both the lines up here and the lines down there. Now, this is something we have to remember because those are not 5 lines, but there are 10 lines. Here is where the F clef comes in. So we will do the F clef when we continue next time.